everybody, and welcome to another Tomb Tuesday. It is April 12th, 2022. Let's go over the numbers real quick. Currently, we have Tomb sitting at 116, Peg to Phantom at 10086. TSHARE is sitting at 5190 or 4506 to FTM. Current TVL at 568 million. All right, now as always with these Tomb Tuesdays, you can go to Medium. Let's check that out right now. Here you will see the full Tomb Tuesday update with all of its pictures and everything else that is here. So you'll be able to read through the whole thing at your convenience. Of course, if you do want to go to Telegram, it'll always be pinned there, and as well as Discord in the announcements channel. Moving on to the announcement itself. Fire it off right here. Printer go BRRR. So this week, he says, is a week for the record book. So if you didn't notice, the ink has been replaced into the printer, and we had about 14 prints. I believe there was even another one after that. We'll take a look at that graphic in just 1 second because there's a lot going on there. Actually, let's take a look at that right now because it is really insane. So right here, you can see the level of the line over here, right? So the top side level is 101. So of course, if you're up over 101 at the end of the epoch, you will print. And if you are below 101 at the end of the epoch, then you will not print. But look at this. Consistency over here is really, really, really great, and it's just another one of those things that you could say because of the peg has been more stable. People are getting more bullish, even in a red market. So all of those things come together, and he even goes on to say right here, all these prints are a reflection of many things coming together all at once. Consider it the culmination of the ongoing success of Tomb Swap, new LPs in the cemetery, the forward progress of Felix, Tomb Hacken Audit with a score of 8.9 out of 10. Confirmation of Tomb Chain, which is going to have Tomb as gas on Tomb L2s. And then, of course, education. All right, so going into all of the timelines, this is all repeat information here. You can pull that up anytime you want and see that in any one of the announcements. Moving on in the announcements, after the BRRR is before the BRRR. Now, what does this mean? Essentially, what it means is after the print, right, you are already taking steps to help the protocol for its next print. That is why, like, what happens right after the print is vital to what happens in the 6 hours leading up to the end of the next epoch. Now, Tomb has utility, and this is part of the education, is educating people on what you can use Tomb for. So there was a time where people would get a print and they would just sell Tomb because they didn't know what to do with it. But now you don't have to. You can keep that Tomb, all right? So not only do you have your traditional just LPs, right? The LPs that we have in the cemetery where you can make use of your Tomb right there. There's now single stake options for things like Tarot, where you could just go in and you could just leave your Tomb right in the vault. It's going to seek out an APR for you, and you do nothing. Single stake, it's as easy as it gets. There are some more complicated strategies where then you could bring your Tomb over to market. You could collateralize it and you could borrow MAI. So you'll be able to get stable coins on there, and you'll be able to use those stable coins for any other endeavor you have in DeFi, or you can use it to buy more Tomb or to make more LPs. So there are a lot of things that you could do. We do have a diagram over here, so to speak, of just many, many, many things that you could do. These are all things that you could do with Tomb. So Tomb all by itself, then Tomb FTMLP, Tomb MAI-LP, Tomb based LP, Tomb AVAX LP on other chains. So there's just so much that you could do, and it's very important that everybody is educated on all of those use cases. Now, there will be more use cases coming with the launch of Felix and Tomb Chain. So definitely be on the lookout for that. And just today, we'll talk about this in just 1 second with Felix. We'll get to that in just 1 second. All right. So the team has worked very hard on putting these graphics together. Now, again, remember, you can get them in Telegram. You can get them in Discord. There are videos that do talk about them. There'll be more videos concentrated on specific strategies. Those will be coming on YouTube. And, of course, you'll have links and all of those things on Twitter as those things come out. Moving on. the update on TSHARE emission strategy. So last week they did talk about bringing a new TSHARE strategy over. That's in the works. Everything is being talked about. When there are details, they will announce them. So that's something that will be coming. Eventually, we'll have a strategy for that is ready to be unveiled to everyone. Now, as announced last week, our layer 2 tomb chain tomb is gas is in the works. Now, better yet, this is really, really bullish. Better yet, it's in alpha testing. All right, and again, this layer 2, we only briefly touched on it before, but they are concentrating on optimistic rollups, which is one of the two different types of rollups. You also have ZK rollups in there, and then it's one of, let's say, 5 different layer 2 strategies. But rollups are considered a real layer 2 strategy as opposed to something like side chains, which are not a perfect L2, but an example of just offloading some data and some transaction onto a side chain and then bringing it back over. All right, so we'll have something on rollups to sort of help guide people into what they are and what an L2 is, and that type of educational material will be coming out. All right, so we'll share updates as they come in the near future, so definitely stay tuned to all of that, and you'll be able to see the homepage as this was released last week. So Tomb Chain right here, you'll be able to get on the page, take a look at it. It's just a landing page for now, but it's something to look at, and things like that are coming. Moving on, Tomb Swap updates. So this is another big one. Zaps, right? Zaps and staking strategies, and also new LPs in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So they're making significant progress in the background. Of course, all these things involve testing, theorizing, going through all of the motions to make sure it's beneficial to the protocol and make sure it's the best thing for the community. So a lot of stuff happens in the background before they even make it to the announcements, which you can see is 2 to 3 weeks before they make it onto the platform. Now, we will launch a new TSHARE Bitcoin LP. So this is brand new. You can pull it up on Deck Screener. That's the link. I'll leave that in the video description below. So this is what's going on right here, right now. So a new LP is coming. We don't have any further information on that. We can only assume that it will go into the cemetery. But this is some very interesting stuff right here. Again, something like that needs to be created, then it needs to be tested, it needs to be hammered out and made as efficient and as smooth as possible. And then when the time is right, we will have a launch. And of course, you will know, we will all know at the same time. It'll be in the announcements and everybody will be able to utilize it. Please note, Tomb TSHARE routing on SpookySwap has a negative impact on the peg. Now, to reduce the impact, please use Tomb MAI TSHARE route. So you're going to go Tomb to MAI, MAI to TSHARE if you want to accumulate TSHAREs. And the reason for that is you're on Spooky. It's a direct effect to the peg, right? Because you are now selling Tomb directly to TSHARE, which routes it through FTM first. So you don't want to go down that road. So if you want to help the protocol, you want to do the right thing, we just ask you go Tomb to MAI, MAI to TSHARE, and that'll help you accumulate some of your TSHAREs. So if you're looking to get into TSHAREs for the long term. All right, now as usual, for any bugs, we are working on those fixes. Those are happening in the background as well. There's a team dedicated to fixing all the bugs. They have a list. They're working on them. And as they are fixed, they will be pushed out. And of course, you will be notified of those changes either in a Tomb Tuesday or through the mods on Telegram or Discord. All right, moving on. Felix update. Felix Exchange remains on track for Q2, so this is great. We would also like to announce that Tomb will be the primary utility token for Felix. So let me just say that again. We would like to announce that Tomb will be the primary utility token for Felix. Now that is huge, right? So that's akin to BNB on Binance. That's akin to FTT on FTX. This is now not only the base pair for the pairs that they plan on bringing to the Felix ecosystem, but also going to be the utility token. So Something like TOOM is going to help you reduce your trading fees in a substantial amount. So you may have a few different tiers. A lot of that stuff is to be announced, but this is a pretty major deal right here, and it's huge. So news to everybody. That's a really big deal, and it brings massive use case for TOOM. So this is just a huge use case for TOOM, and it will ensure its utility will benefit both users of Felix and the broader TOOM community. So let that sink in for a little bit as we move on to TOOM Base, but that is some very, very, very bullish news right there. All right. TOOM and Base, our partnership with Base Finance continues to grow stronger. For the latest on Base, we'll go to the Medium article. Let's go check that out right now. Here we can see the previous Medium article. Of course, this is the 8th. They do Base Fridays. So today is Tuesday. You have to wait 3 more days to get the newest update here. But again, all of the information is on here, all the beautiful graphics, all of the stuff that they've talked about, all of the updates, all of the goods that you would expect. All right, let's go back to the announcement. All right, and that about wraps it up for this TOOM Tuesday. We continue to build, educate, and work tirelessly to ensure everything that we do is in the best interest of our protocol and our community. Thank you for joining us on this journey. Cheers to many more prints ahead. That will wrap it up for this TOOM Tuesday. As always, keep calm and TOOM on.